We're here live with the Pill Sketch team, who are the winners of the inaugural 2014 Northwest Indiana Startup Weekend event. I've got Ginny, who founded the idea. I've got Darlene, who I said I wouldn't even talk to first because you're the last one on the call, but that's all right. And we got Michael, who looks like a portrait right now on my screen, and it's so perfect. So we're going to go into it. What made you guys come to Startup Weekend? What made you have the idea? In fact, let's go before that. Ginny, what made you come up with the idea for Pill Sketch?
I've noticed with my healthcare experience that there really aren't still adequate tools for patients to compile their own information. So when I really thought about the entire landscape of that, it seemed that starting with medications was a logical first place to start, just to help patients compile their own medication list.
Cool. And so what full vision do you see of what, like, when you went into this, you went in with this idea, what were you thinking the fruition the idea would be past Startup Weekend, like full vision for the company? Was it something you were going to test, or was it something where you already had the roadmap idea in your head? This is the idea, I know what it's going to take to get to the end. This is when it's a full-blown company and I've sold it off and I'm living in a yacht in Fort Myers. What was that, final step going to be for you? What did you see going into it? Did you take Napoleon's battle plan and just show up and see what happens, or were you methodical?
No, I wasn't overly prepared for the weekend. Honestly, I really tried to enjoy the process much more organically than that. So just kind of had a real general concept of what I thought might work. And really the team helped to develop the more detailed components of that through the process over the weekend. Like I said, I do see that PillSked, in whatever its name form in the future, would be one part or the first iteration of a tool for patients and individuals to have their own medical information.
Cool. No, it sounds good. Like we talked in the pre-interview, the kind of passion, the concern you saw for patients, and the fact that so much medical technology is involved for everyone but the patient. Mm-hmm. It was kind of inspiring. As for Darlene and Mike, what inspired you to come to the event? What made you guys decide, hey, I want to come? And then the follow-up, what made you guys pick Pill Sketch? Did you guys have your own ideas when you came up? Can you tell I was the one who wasn't there? Did you guys bring your own ideas, or did you just want to come up, see what happens, and then went, hey, I want to go there?
Should we like rock, paper, scissors?
No, Mike's going first because he was here first.
Go, Mike, go!
Yeah, so for me, it was something that had kind of been on my radar for a while. I'd watched the scene kind of develop and wanted to at least be around in terms of reporting or coverage. I didn't really have an idea that I wanted to pitch, and I wasn't super committed to a role. But when I saw their project kind of begin to evolve, and just the kind of team dynamic that was happening there, I like a little bit of tension, and that was definitely present on the Pill Sketch team. So
you say a little tension?
Yeah, definitely. So I kind of gravitated towards that, I think, and
fight.
I've got a great story on that. When Kelly and I went to our first one in Startup Weekend Cincinnati last year, before we became organizers, we were on a team it was that M-Planner team that ended up getting national exposure because of the 14-year-old kid winning with the app. And we're Saturday, and the tension's mounting, right? We're trying to get the brand part of it done for the pitch and whatnot, and we're trying to get two marketing directions where it's going to go. And eventually, pretty much the whole team decided it was going to be one direction. It was going to be more of a business focus to get it to the, for an app to get it to the kids, but it was going to be in that way that in order to get the parents to buy like kids' toys, you market to the kids. In this way, it was in order to kind of get the kids to use the app to market it to the adults. And everyone on the team went one way, and the designer went the other way. And didn't really full out until about 10 o'clock at night. I found out she was asking copy from another kid. But the app was loading on the website, and I about threw my laptop across the room. It got a good slide across the table before I about picked it up and launched it. And then I realized I was too poor to buy another one. And Kelly ended up taking me out. Kelly ended up meeting me out in the hall, and that's when the rest of the team was like, we know, we had to put it together. I was like, you guys could have let me know before I started throwing stuff around. But yeah, I'm sure it wasn't anything worse than that, but you forget that the ideas for businesses get real. So was your guys' tension like that, or was it a different kind of tension?
It was just, I think, a passion about being able to contribute ideas and obviously direction, but I think that the environment, being that you're there, I mean, at least in the other people's cases, for 3 days straight, that can be an intense kind of commitment.
Yes. Darlene, what about you? What made you gravitate towards the weekend? Did you have an idea? And the third question, what made you pick Phil Sketch over Connexus and Happy People Network?
It's sort of an interesting story. How I got there was simply that Kelly said I should go. And I don't always do what Kelly tells me to. Let's just make that clear.
Hey, you're the one that used the NatFin discount code, so that's double bonus.
It was the NatFin discount that did it.
Awesome.
Score!
Nice.
But no, I didn't go with an idea. I mostly went to find out more about the process and what it was. I was very curious about what it was. And I'd heard enough about it from you and from various people that I really just wanted to see what was going on.
You were the one that listened. Wow.
Yeah. So that was what I went for, and Kelly sort of called me out and asked me to pitch, and I had nothing. I had not gone with the intention of pitching.
I love that.
Yeah, no, I had no idea. I was like, no, nothing. But
he does that. He does that. Go ahead.
I think he's kind of mean. He picked it.
Yeah, we got that.
Let's go with her crappy idea.
He'll do that if the ideas are running low. He did that. Go ahead. I'm interrupting. I'm sorry.
So as I was talking to other people, I got very enthusiastic about lots of other people's ideas because there were great things there. Everybody had some great stuff. So it was easy.
From what I read.
Yeah.
I was getting live Google Docs updates while I was sitting here monitoring social media command. So all of a sudden, we should. Someone, it was Karen was writing on a post-it note, and I go, I can't see the post-it note from East Bay, San Francisco, guys. They started writing the ideas on the Google Docs, and I was like, after a while, the ideas were making me hungry because there were a lot of food-based ideas. But no, it was really cool. All right, then what made you pick Pill Sketch? After your idea tanked and everyone hated it, and it was properly vetted to suck.
But not everybody hated it. It's just that there were lots of other things going on. I don't think it was a hateable thing.
I'm so sorry.
I voted for her idea. Let the record show that I did. Nice. And also for Michael's, believe it or not, and I told them both that.
Wait a minute, Michael, you had an idea? What was your idea, Michael?
I just pitched an app idea. It was something that I had floating around in my head, but it wasn't anything that I was super serious about. It was just
let's make yours next.
What was the idea? What was the app?
So it was basically to turn your phone into a musical instrument.
Nice. Like a whole orchestra?
Would have been fun.
Yeah, it would have been fun, but it wasn't really in the spirit of business. It was just, for entertainment purposes.
That's where some of the best ideas come from.
Exactly. It would have gone right next to my lightsaber app,
Yeah,
right
definitely.
Exactly. Something useful that people will buy.
I tried a guitar app, and I tried to push down all the fingers on the strings, and it never works. But, Darlene, what was your idea?
It was about compiling a sort of creating a. Oh gosh, I can't even articulate it again anymore. Finding a way to help parents augment their students' education. And I could get more in detail, but the idea was to create a space on the web for that. Particularly gifted students.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the next day,
I came up with it at the very last minute.
But the next day after startup weekend, I went back to work and saw patients in the office. I ended up calling Darlene on the way home because her app actually was very apropos to one of the patients that I saw. And I had to help this parent kind of navigate through their high-performing child who probably could skip kindergarten and first grade, and the mom didn't really know the resources out there. And I called Darlene. I'm like, your app would have really been totally useful in this instance. And so that was kind of full circle for me that, I voted for it, and I still think that it would be very useful. So it was cool.
You're going to have to write a synopsis for it.
In the end, I was totally happy to be on any team, though. It was really much more about the process for me. I didn't have any particular attachment to my pitch.
Well, you had Connexus, Happy People Network, and Phil Sketch, which I know they weren't all those names that night. But what made you pick Phil Sketch?
For the name?
No, for the idea to pick that to join that.
Oh, why did I pick that group out of the others?
You weren't the last pick to dodge. You weren't the last pick to play dodgeball. I mean, you got to choose.
No, I kind of was actually.
That's not true.
I was the last kid to pick which dodgeball team to be on.
There you go.
It was sort of do we do this? Well, no, we're not going to do this. Let's pick another team. And so I talked to the other teams, and I guess I went with the one that felt like I could actually do some good and fit in with the
culture.
I guess I went with a feeling, kind of like this feels like a good group of people. Like the level is right.
And you'll have that. You'll have some. From what I think, I've been to 2 or 3 of them now, and what you'll find that the groups, you'll have some that it's like, man, why are you guys even together? and some who don't go in it for the spirit of innovation, they go for it just for the profit. Like we were down in Cincinnati, there was one team that had their idea picked. It was for a cat app, and when they didn't get enough developers to have their $10,000 development done by Sunday night, they left Friday night. They didn't even tell their team goodbye. They just left. So yeah, so if people hear your answer, I hope they really take heart to understand that synergy and culture is definitely a big part of the event. You're gonna want to get something to jive with, or you're gonna have 54 hours of hell and all the wrong kinds of hell.
I didn't go in with any delusions about walking out rich, so.
Good. Only I do that. But so Jenny, you had people that thought you were good people, so it's definitely a good start. What did you see in Mike and Darlene in how they could contribute to the team, and as team leader, what direction did you send those 2 off into, and why? How's that? Sorry, that wasn't a softball. That was more of like medium pitch softball. My apologies.
It's all good. So actually, Darlene just came in with a really great spirit, and just wanted to really be part of a team. I think that it was very clear that she was willing to do whatever was necessary, and you can't go wrong with a team member like that. And that was certainly, I think, the role that she played was very much utility player, and she worked to her strengths and did what else was necessary as well. Michael was actually our mentor, so I want to give him full credit as a team member, but he adopted us and we adopted him on a different level. He certainly did work. I don't want, he wasn't just a non-participating member. He did definitely help us, but his advice and his ability to be the middle person when we hit some of those tense spots in the conversation was also incredibly useful.
Oh, nice. Good job, Mike. So how were the coaches during the weekend? You get Saturday, you got Friday night, you try team form. Saturday, you come in straggling, going, man, cold pizza and donuts, what the heck? You're busting through, you're starting to get the idea together. Noon comes around, 12:30, the coaches come in. How was your relationship with the coaches? And I have a story for that, so before you're afraid to say anything derogatory, I probably have you crushed. An embarrassment, so don't even worry about it.
Our coaches were awesome. I think that, pretty much any business you would start up, I don't think you would be able to find that caliber of people that were really willing to dedicate that time and their experience to your idea. I felt that they were very spot on when they disagreed with the direction we were going. They were definitely willing to pull us back and help us course correct. Cool. They were very willing to validate when we were in the right place. And they were even willing to break a tie or, like I said, we didn't all agree, but that usually ends up with a much better product, and you don't have so much groupthink. So I think, the mentors and the coaches really helped guide us through that process.
Cool. What are you guys, Darlene, what's your thoughts since you were actually technically a team member?
A team member?
Yeah.
I actually completely second all of that. She was so great at keeping us together, working together, keeping more as on track.
All the master's degrees she has.
Who? Jenny?
Yep. It's all that education, keeping the process
Jenny, how many do you
together.
have?
A couple.
How many do I have?
I think 7 or 8.
You have 7 master's degrees?
No, that's how many you have.
No, I have 2. How
Yeah,
many
me
do
too.
you have?
I have 2.
Yes.
Michael, I'm feeling uneducated here. I only have 2 bachelors.
But I only have a single bachelor, so you know.
Ah, you lose.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have to stop talking now.
It wasn't about that. I mean, that's not,
No, that actually has very little to do with it.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I've always thought that education prepares you for certain situations. It doesn't give you the knowledge. You still just have to go find what you need.
Mm-hmm.
It's still about process and completing tasks, so being able to compartmentalize and put everything in independent cells. So if so if those situations break, it doesn't affect everything else. It's so very key, especially in the time frame you had.
Sure.
Right.
So, all right, so cool. Almost got the answer I want. Darlene, what did you spend most of the weekend doing? Were you doing research? Were you doing brand
I was mostly
development?
research. I mostly did research and...
Giggliness.
What?
Giggliness.
Giggling. That's pretty much it. Period. That's my life.
So what did you guys do for survey data? Were you guys able to compile any? Did you guys do SurveyMonkey? Did you go out to the mall or?
Yes.
Do you want to answer? That was Darlene's baby, so.
Yeah, we did a SurveyMonkey. And thank you for everybody who tweeted and retweeted and shared and got us plenty of feedback on our SurveyMonkey.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
And we actually had a couple team members who physically went out, went to Meijer, went to Target, went to Walgreens, I think. I don't even know where all they went. They came back with funny pictures and stories and lots of good ideas. So
it's amazing how that stuff actually works as well. I'm one of those that is gregarious as I can be at times. I hate being. I've never been good at that kind of direct marketing. Not my style. Luckily, when we were in Cincy, we had 2 14-year-old kids. We sent them to the movie theater, and they asked a bunch of 14-year-old girls. That was easy for them.
Right?
And we cheated. We had Dr. Saki back up here write our research questions for us. We outsourced a lot during that weekend. All right, so you guys are getting through. You got through the coaches. You guys didn't get in too many fights with them. That's something better than I could do.
You got in a fight with your coach?
Oh, we got into he tried to turn. We had one guy try to turn the civics discussion. Our team, we had great talent. We had the kid's dad, who was a partner at a web development firm, Differential out in Cincinnati. We had Kelly, who between his experience and his education and his position and his history in startups, so he already knew how to vet idea. We had me, who'd been doing digital marketing since '06 and working with national and international brands. We had quite a bit at the table already, and so when we had these coaches, and one guy thought the idea was great, but that we weren't marketing for, that we had to gamify it and stuff, and that it wasn't sexy enough or something, and we started going back and forth, and I finally, after about 20 minutes, and it got past the point. We all agreed it's a good idea, but it got past the point of what it needed to do. It started. I finally just looked at it and went, "Does it still a common problem? Yes. Does it have mass appeal? Yes. Then the rest is a civics discussion. Go away." And it was funny. I mean, I was also on an all-nighter, so I had no patience for it. But yeah, God, I wish I was there. I'm totally coming back for the one in October. I missed it. In fact, I was actually helping, off the record, unofficially.
I know you were.
Where'd you hear that?
From who you were texting with.
Ah, yes. But so yeah, so we were bootstrapping a website. Yeah, so that's just how exciting it was. Let's get back on point. I'm sorry, that was me being excited and still wishing I was there with you guys. You get to the evening, you got make your own sandwiches coming. You're getting to the night. Did you guys ever start to get that good feeling that you guys are gonna go away with, you're gonna win the event, that you're gonna get the cool the prizes and the respect that goes with it? Did you guys ever get that feeling, and if you did, when?
The only time that I felt like we really had a shot was at the end of our presentation when the judges could not ask enough questions. Until then, I figured it was anybody's game, honestly. I think everybody had great ideas, and it seemed like they're all different, and they were all developed in different ways. You know, they all have potential, but the judges did not stop asking questions. There were no pauses. So I thought we had to have done something right. But we were the first ones to go, so I wasn't sure how the other groups would do. But I think we were the most packed in the question department.
Cool. That's always a good feeling. That's like the greatest feeling in the world. All of a sudden, the energy starts coming around.
Yeah.
We had one guy that he had won at TechCrunch, like Disrupt the month before, with an idea, and he knew he had a good idea, but that his presentation went long, and that the kid had the adorability factor. So he actually came up and stood next to me in the back row. And when the judging was announced, he turned around, shook my hand, and went, "Thanks for stealing my incubator time." I'm like, man, I'm not even going to be here for it. Yeah, it was that cool thing. It's like you get that vibe. All of a sudden, you get that momentum. You realize you vetted it. You have a great presentation, which I hear you guys had a pretty good one. You guys kept it within time. Getting down in the downhill rush. Mike, it's Sunday. You're in a rush. You're walking around. You're in that rush, and it's that scramble to get finished. What's going through your head?
So for me, I think that I was migrating a lot between the different groups and just kind of trying to contribute where I could. Obviously, Pilskej I probably spent the most time with and felt more connected to their group for a number of reasons. I actually got more hands-on kind of contribution time to them, but also I felt like their idea kind of went further, and they kind of didn't try to bite off more than they could accomplish in 54 hours. So, to me, I think like the last day on Sunday, actually, I went to a White Sox game, so I wasn't totally there the whole day. I
Were you
walked
doing
back
any texting
in.
or anything?
Well, I not with the team particularly, but I walked back in right when their presentation started and got to see it, and I had a really good sense about their presentation too, particularly once I saw the other two, and I think that as far as speaking about the judging and what they had to say in relationship to the presentation, my sense was that they didn't have any major like detractor statements about the project, whereas I felt that the other two, they definitely had at least one major kind of issue with the projects, and after I saw that, I was like, these guys have a really good chance of winning. As far as what they thought, I can't really speak to that, but to me, from an outsider kind of position in the audience watching the presentations, I thought that it was really strong and went very well.
Cool. What do you guys think? Something similar? I mean, you guys had to be there to finish up the presentation. Did you take enough time to practice, or was it that situation where you had the presentation done at about 4:48?
No, they rocked it. It was so hard because for a couple of the other members and we were just at a certain point, you're done. There's nothing more you can give. They're just in their prep state.
Oh, it's a pain in the butt
and you're just sitting there for 2 hours, like pulling your hair out. Like there's nothing I can do.
You're like spending 54 hours pushing against the wall, and all of a sudden the wall's gone, and you're like.
So I just kept, and as the judges kept coming in and people are chatting, I felt like this is the natural point where, I go into networking mode and start chatting people up, and then I'm like, no, that's going to look slimy because this is a competition. So, okay, I'm just going to sit here and doodle.
No. You network with the judges.
I did. I did after.
No holds bar of bribing them to pay them off more than what the prizes are worth. Well,
but that was so I had no sense of how our project was stacking up against the others, and I actually didn't stop to think about
cheating and checking it out. Come on.
No, actually, not even a little. And here's why.
Hey, we got another one.
Hey.
Hello.
What's up, TM? How you doing?
Other than being disreputably weekend, I'm fine.
All right, we're at the conversation. We're about 20 minutes in. It's being recorded for YouTube. we're at the point we're talking about the judging. So now that we've had their opinions, now we got another one. We get to see what his thoughts were. Crash course, 1 minute or less. Your thoughts on why you came to the event, why you picked Pill Sketch, and well, let's see what you can get done in a minute.
Oh, Lord, no pressure. Thank you. Well, I picked Pill Sketch because it looked like it was viable. It was an interesting project. I had some input. I thought I could contribute. Why I went is because I enjoy going to startup weekends. I enjoy the entrepreneurial process. It's just kind of me. That's it.
So what they have you doing during the weekend?
I'm sorry, what?
What did Ginny have you doing during the weekend?
Probably mostly I was watching over people's shoulders, but I was doing validation. Is probably.
You had someone doing it. Cool. Doing a lot of validation, idea validation.
I guess. Yes.
Cool.
TM did the interviews with another group member, Dan. They went off site and did the in-person interviews. They helped devise a questionnaire for it. You know, everyone did research because I think everyone brought a different perspective to it. I'm a healthcare provider, so you know I have my own filters when I'm looking at information. But each person comes from a different perspective, and everybody had valuable contributions that way. But you know, TM and Dan went out and did the interviews, and they were huge. They really helped us. They gave us great vignettes and answers, and we had a whole slide like with a word map of things that people said, and that I think was a very, very impressive slide in our presentation. The judges really stopped and looked at that slide, and that's something to be proud of, and that's something that TM helped to develop. So that was great.
Well, thank
and
you.
he came up with the name.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't believe it entirely on me. You agreed.
Dude, you better copyright that now. Kidding. All right, so we were at the point of discussion. We were talking about the judging. The question I asked them before the actual judging was what you thought. Like, did you have a moment during the weekend that moment you realized, man, this is gonna win? There's something here.
The first time was about half an hour in.
You should ask Jenny what she thought when she realized she was going to win. Hey, Jenny, tell them when you guys thought you were going to win.
Oh, tell TM what I said before?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I didn't know anything that much about what the other groups were doing, so I know we had all worked hard on our idea, and obviously with Ron's help, really had a great idea that we could follow the startup weekend structure. I think he was probably our secret sauce in the process. But it was after we finished our presentation, and the judges kept just hammering us with really great questions about, have you thought about this, and what will you do about this, and kind of just business development questions. Where are you going to go next, and what about this market, and what about that? I thought, hey, that went pretty well, you know, like they liked it. So
how well did you guys know the judges? Did you guys do any research on them before you went into it, or nice? Gutsy call.
But that doesn't mean we knew them.
No, that's true. Yeah, I'd only met the
I knew
one.
who they were.
Yeah, I met Bart last year. Bart, if you guys got to know him, oh wow. He's been doing startups as a lawyer for over 10, 11 years. You guys know what Techstars is?
Yes.
Yes.
He's been doing. He was at the first Techstars Chicago and still has actually most of his big clients are from there.
Pretty cool.
And he's been doing it ever since. He's got an office in Valpo, and then Kathy DeGiulio Fox runs the research part. And John Patsky's pretty successful. He's the one I knew the least. I knew of him from Kelly, but I really didn't talk to him all that much. But yeah, you guys had a really good panel.
We're super nice.
That panel would have scared me more than the panel that we had up during our first event. So you guys handled it. Sounds like you guys handled it beautifully.
They were great. They were so good. Ginny and Ben, is Ben right?
Dan.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. They did so much practice. They spent hours practicing, so it was great.
Nice.
It was
call.
a good presentation.
Who presented it?
Dan Bunn and I presented,
Nice.
and we started practicing our presentation at about 1 o'clock with our first run through and timed it, and we were about 6 minutes over. Since you only get 5 minutes, that was pretty impressive overage. So we just started slashing things out and figuring out what's overall the concept and the idea that we were trying to convey, and focused on those. At the same time, we tried everyone in the group was helping us, like, what if they ask you this? Like, if we say this one thing, then what's the really natural progression that you could imagine a business person or a shark or whatever asking? What's the next thing? And I think we tried to be prepared for what we would anticipate the questions to be.
Nice. Yeah, no, cool. Yeah, wow, that was longer. Speaking about that wall you were talking about, Darlene, about pushing on it for 54 hours and then tearing your out. That Kelly, all of a sudden, I knew it was coming. I didn't know he was going to do it so fast. He took the kids, because we had the 2 kids present. He took them to a place we couldn't find them. We were at this University of Miami Center just north of Cincy, and he took the kids in the presentation. We were like, we couldn't find them, and all of a sudden you're stopped. You're like, it's off on someone else's hands. The website is done. The brand is done.
It's sort of like the treadmill you're on is just, you're done.
Yeah, and boom. Yeah, it's like you had no idea where to go. All
right, sit there with the cold pizza and enjoy.
Hey, that's some good pizza there. I was hoping they'd send me some.
They probably did.
Couple questions each, and I'll get you all out of here. One's going to be final thoughts. So let's start thinking about them now. Final thoughts about the weekend, and then including would you come back, and then the last one's going to be your anticipated thoughts for PhilSchedge and your possible involvement, if any. So I'll start the round table. Ginny, your idea. Great team, but someone's got to go first. So final thoughts on startup weekend. Would you come back?
Absolutely. I went into it.
All right, because it's in October. We're holding you to it.
I know, and it's in Belgium. That's good. I went into it fully happy whether my idea was chosen or not. I just thought the idea was really cool, and so that's the spirit. I'll go into the next one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, and to tell you what, let's do it all the same way. PhilSchedge, what's your future involvement? What do you think in the future is? I know you got a couple meetings coming up with Kelly. And now that you found out about the meetup at Catch 22 on the 21st, you're going to be there because I said so.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your thoughts?
I think there's definitely a market for this kind of app, for real. And our research over the weekend validated that. But it also did validate that it's really going to be in the execution and marketing of the app. There are other apps that do the same exact thing out there, and they have not been as successful as a person might hope for. So, if we're going to take this and spin it a different way, put different lipstick on it or whatever, that to me is the part that we really, really need to be very purposeful about.
Cool.
I also, have a more global vision, like I've said, rather than just a medication list. And so I'd like to explore the possibility of this being the first iteration of that plan, and if the group is interested in that, obviously everybody's invested at this point a great deal of time. I have those meetings with Kelly.
Medical records and X-rays and the stuff and the like.
What I'd like to see.
And if you do, I totally get 10%.
Well, what I'd like to see is that the patient become their own source of truth for their own medical information. There's no person, no place, no hospital, no doctor that has a full comprehensive picture of me or of you or of anyone else. It's all disparately stored, and it's not comprehensively managed or analyzed or anything. I have patients with chronic illnesses whose family members walk in with a 2-inch ring binder with all their information, and that binder is the best source of truth for that patient. So what I'd like to do is really create an electronic platform to replace that 2-inch binder, and that's where I'd like to see this going. But that's my vision, and that I can't push my vision on other people. They have to come along for the ride. if they
Yeah,
want.
this ain't politics, and I ain't the public. I ain't gonna make you hold to that opinion. I'm not gonna make you hold to that. But 7 years ago, you said it was good. No, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
real cool.
there's definitely a market out there for that. You know, even there, but the problem that I said is like there have been a lot of companies that have put themselves out there in the market, and frankly, even Google has done it and failed. So, you know, it's not an area without landmines from a business standpoint. It really
Google
would
has a
require
tendency to
very
be the place
purposeful
to go where
stepping.
startups die. So.
Yeah.
So no, great. I'll let you get the final word here in a second. I want to get the rest of your team. Michael, you're the second one in. Final thoughts on Startup Weekend, Pill Sketch, and would you do either again, or wouldn't?
Yeah, I'll definitely be looking. Oh, okay. Which Michael?
I'm sorry, Finney. Louis
Okay.
got here last. He gets to go last.
All right, so yeah, I would definitely contribute in the same way that I did this time. As far as Pill Sketch goes specifically, I think that now that it's kind of out of the weekend phase, there's a lot more of an opportunity for me to be involved and contribute the things that I'm a little more in gear and already kind of moving along with.
Yeah.
As far as like the design and developmental kind of components go, and marketing, and also just seeing what the trajectory of establishing a legitimate operation goes, I think that that's something that I'm definitely interested in right now.
Cool. Darlene.
What was the question?
Final thoughts on Startup Weekend. Would you go back?
Would I go back?
Question 2
Of
is final
course.
thoughts on Pill Sketch.
Of course I would go
Yes,
back.
it's actually 4. All right.
I probably
Fair.
wouldn't make that decision 2 nights beforehand. That was probably a little hard, but
Well, now you know in advance you can get the early bird discount.
I'm using that pin as my discount for everything forever.
That should work, especially at Blackbird
It'll work
Cafe,
great.
which I think I'm going to be at Sunday. I think I'm going to be at Blackbird on Friday.
I'm usually over there on Fridays. Maybe I'll catch you.
Yeah, I'll be back in town.
Every day.
I got to meet a buddy.
Every day. And would I stick with Pill Sketch? Whatever Ginny needs. I mean, I really do have a very team spirit about this, so.
No, it's great because we've seen Kelly, and if Kelly was here, you could probably talk. You could list off hundreds of them. So you've seen more than I have, but yeah, you guys have some great synergy going right here. Even with Ludus over there. Just kidding, TM. Your thoughts what's your thoughts on this, buddy?
I'm thoroughly addicted. I'll be back. So for another hit. And as far as Pill Sketch is going, I never stopped. Go check the share drive. There's some new stuff there. I think it has real potential. I think that people on the team can take it forward, and I'm looking forward to the time when we have to bring up others because we're progressing past the original people.
Cool. So cool, guys.
I think we're gonna make it there.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. You guys got anything, final things to say, words of wisdom, anyone who watches this and decides they want to do this or do a startup? We're going to go in reverse order. Last question. CM, final thoughts. What you thinking?
Well, I think that it is not what most people expect coming in, and it's well worth every lost minute of sleep that you will have doing it. It's a real ride, and it is wonderful. But you have to pay attention to the mentors. You have to pay attention to the process. They're not there just to tout their books. It really helps.
No, the pay isn't good enough for them initially.
Well,
Pizza.
Cold pizza.
Well, the lasagna was better.
Ooh, nice. Darlene, final thoughts.
Yes, come. We'll have more fun. More people show up.
Cool. Denny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to October. I think at the very least, it's worth being around a lot of really energized and passionate people for a 3-day period. Whether or not you get to build your own idea or you just kind of get involved with other people, it's good to be in that environment. It feels good to come away from it.
Cool.
I forgot to bring my cool sunglasses. I didn't know that was a requirement, Michael.
These are my glasses. These are just my regular prescription glasses, but I'm outside.
Oh yeah, hold on. We're gonna do this right.
I've been wondering this whole time, what are you doing? You're just pacing around your house?
Me? No, I'm actually out in the screened-in porch, but the lights are kind of dying right now.
I think we had a tour
All
for
right, now we're ready. Now we're ready to do this right. There you go. Cool sunglasses time.
Well, now I need to go get the sunglasses. I just have regular.
I know. I need to go find some for. Ooh, I gotta get dirt on. Oh no. Jenny, final thoughts. Startup weekend. You coming back for another one?
I would love to, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who either has no plans for their weekend, who wants to learn a business process, wants to network with other people, wants to see if their concept will fly, if they like cold pizza. There are just so many reasons to go, and none of them is a bad reason.
Hold on, someone's calling. Apparently, you guys ever seen one of these before? Jawbone Jambox?
Yep.
Apparently, it's sunk to my fiance's phone. That's a great way to end it. Thank you guys so much. You guys, let me know when the social media properties that you guys have are established. You can give me the link, send me the links to them, especially the website. Even if if you guys need help with the landing page or website or something, let us know. Yeah, definitely, we're all kind of all in this together. In the end, we're all startups of some degree with some purpose and vision. Thank you guys once again. You guys sound like, not to whistle Dixie, you guys sound like you guys have some good synergy going. It's gonna be a labor of love, and you're gonna miss more of your favorite TV shows than you ever thought possible. But there's definitely something there. I hope you guys see it to fruition. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna push the stop here in a second, and then we can kind of do a post impromptu, and then I'll let you guys go for the night. Sound good?
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nat.
All right, thank you. All right. And for everyone who got this far into watching, the next startup weekend will be announced soon. We need to finalize the date. The only hint I can have is that the next one's probably going to be a crusade. All right, guys.